But everything else was just bug fixes. But all right, yo, so Sin. We got a chance to sit down. We both played Sin. You were playing Sin way more than me. I got to sit down and play Sin on both the side of playing Sin, but also playing against Sin, because we did that just last night actually. And what are we feeling? What are we feeling on Sin right now, off the rip? What are the impressions? What do you like about Sin? What don't you like? And where is he gonna? We'll figure out what we're feeling in initially right now as to the rest of the cast.
I do have to say, first off, I agree with Diaphone. The man is gonna have the players of Sin, the character Sin, will have digestive issues because they are eating of glue.
Oh, it's one of those characters.
So you never watched the
I haven't peeped out the new joint yet.
I'm saying the movie Bruce Almighty, where you got the kids. No, he's getting eaten the glue. Get him out the glue.
Yeah.
It's just like you turn yourself off and you just go ham. Just go for it. Oh, I'm negative. Let me DP out of this situation. Just like raw. So I actually ran into many Sin players. I ran into one today though. He handed it to me. I had to switch to my other characters. I went from Eno over to Testament, and I was just like, how am I going to fare? Like, how do I block it? And I was fairly blocking quite all right. But then when I let him loose, it was like, oh, damn it. I'm not on top of him. Like, I can't. Like, you have to make him with DP. If not, then he has too many options afterwards. So let me start from the beginning. I've been using him as well. So I am getting used to all of the setups, and wow, that is a nice safe jump. You should show it. And the character, he has no hard knockdowns, but that's all right. I don't think that's expected from actually having. But again, this game it's a game where a lot of people have tools. So what I do like about him is that he's very easy to learn. He's not a very complicated character. He's got the meter, which allows him to dash and or do a follow-up to his special moves, which is a very good plus. Like, if you're too scared to overcommit to a DP with other characters, you can use this character. And granted, again, if you whiff on a DP, you can't follow it up. But if you hit on block, you can choose to follow up or not follow up, which is a mix-up in itself. And you can also choose to dash out of each of those opportunities as long as you have meter. Which is really, really strong, I think. I mean, I don't know about you. And then if you have an RC, then you can get out of that. I mean, granted, you can get out of an EDP that you do with the RC anyway. With that being said, the range, obviously he has a pole, a flag pole that he's fighting with. So he has the range that's there. I have not used that button at all, the 6K. But I know it's good. We were playing yesterday and we realized that is a very plus button.
Yeah, that shit was just a robbery plus. Like, it was like this because it's not real. It's so slow. It's not real. Like, you don't 2K, you don't 5K to 6K. It's not real. There's a gap. Kind of like Bikin's 6K, right? But Bikin's 6K isn't like hella plus like this thing. This footstepper, this shit is the kung fu hustle of techniques is what I saw. All I could think about is the end is like he just crushes your toes in and you're just like and that's why you're so plus, because it hits hard but it's slow.
But at the same time, I saw you can use it as a meaty, you can use it as a counter confirm. Like, you hit somebody with a counter hit, like standing S, which can be canceled into other normal button, or standing close S can be canceled into other what is it called, unique moves, like
unique normals, command 6K. Normals and such.
So that's perfectly fine. You can do that too to confirm, which cancels in. It is special cancelable. So, which is good. Let me see. Outside of that, those are the good things. I mean, he has probably the best use of overdrive. Like, his super moves are. I believe the fireball is invul. I say fireball. It's just a punch.
You talking about no, that one isn't. Yeah. That one isn't info on start. Okay. No, it's Ride of Lightning. That's Ride of Lightning is the info one. Yes. Startup info,
which is really
has some
good.
Really weird interactions. Like, it is just day one. Anji supers just activating but not punishing, Nago being able to clash with it, and still then Nago can 5S you afterwards, and then it'll lose. That's hilarious. Like, just the interactions alone on his supers are just very weird.
So note to self, like if you block it point blank, he can hit you from cross up behind. Now, granted, also if he misses the first one, he can't go in a different direction. So you can punish it.
Yeah, he just straight up stops. Which I didn't know that until I started playing some Sins last night, and like they would do it, and I go like, oh, I'm waiting for the follow up, and he actually just like, yeah, he exhausts himself, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Right. You have to hit me, or else you can't really do anything. Gotcha.
He can also do it after, or what was it? He can also do it in the air as well.
Yes.
So like an air confirm, so to speak, or even if you have them in the corner, and you get them really high up on the wall. Other issues, or not issues, but he can also use the rest of his meter to activate it, and therefore go from there. So with all of that being said, all of those tools, all of this that we see here, he doesn't have a fireball. I mean, is he the fireball? Sure, he has the low profile move that we've all gotten hit by, like as if it's or something. Mm-hmm. He has a very active stand S. Like that's one of the tools that a lot of people do actually use. So what I'm thinking is that I think he's very strong in the sense that I like that he's very definitely a getaway with a murder type of snowballing character. Like once he has his meter going up, and like not even up, it's like you beat him up enough, right? And then he has his meter, and he gets 1 DP, and he can still dash in after every interaction with his special moves, and mix up his meaty game, like his Oki.
Mm-hmm.
You can be looking at like you're in the corner already with 25% health.
Oh yeah, his corner carry is nuts. Yeah. His corner carry is ridiculous.
Then you're already looking at, oh man, do I use my invul super? Do I DP? Do I this? Do I that? Because he can already end the match after that. And he doesn't even necessarily need meter to do, or his own meter to do like his own, well, how would I say? He doesn't need his what's it called? Oh my gosh. So he can use all his meter to get you all the way to the corner, but he doesn't necessarily need it to finish off the job.
No, like, it's not. He still has options. It's just his option. When you don't have meter, his options don't have options. That's all that happens. That's literally all that happens. Right. His options just don't have all the options afterwards.
But when he's on the offense, he doesn't necessarily need it. Now,
no.
I do recommend you not to use the high slash super move on just without a follow up. Like you need meter to use that thing, because even on hit when you're using that move, unless your opponent's in the air, you can get punished on hit. We've seen a Nago do a special move on hit, getting hit by that move. So it's definitely out there a while. It's meant for you to cancel it, but again, if you're doing it from like crouching dust, then you get the hit. That's fine. That's different. The food thing. Now, I know that we've talked about it in last week, how they were like, oh, they're not telling us. I wonder what it does.
A buttload of things.
We found a graph. Did you have that ready?
Yeah. Pull it up.
I don't know what it does. I know there's like damage buffs, and there's also like some healing, but like it's barely any healing. It's not my favorite thing to use. They had to bring it over because it was a component that was kind of part of him, obviously when the game dropped, when he dropped in Exerd, right? Food, but it had a different case in food. Like it was directly attached to his meter bar, but they changed that. But they changed that the meter bar is now something you just gain versus something you need to actually eat to then regain to start. But yeah, so. Just we're gonna do a quick PSA on what Sins Food does. This is an awesome tweet that went out by the Symbolist on FGC on Twitter. Sins Food all has an equal chance to be pulled. However, the effectiveness is a separate roll that's weighted. There's 5 levels of effectiveness with decreasing odds. So basically, to put it in layman's terms, the food's already random. Then the level of the food is also rolled as well. So the meat increases your damage. The lobster decreases your damage taken. The ice cream increases your tension, and the lizard, brings back some health. There were like
and then there's fish, but fish is specific to walk speed and dash speed, and there's variations on that because there's walk speed forward to walk speed backwards to dash forward and the acceleration. So yeah, that's already so it's 5 pieces of food you can eat. Once again, meat, lobster, ice cream, lizard, fish. But then there's 5 levels. In other words, the colors that you see happen are the rolled buffs given. So red is the worst one. It's not to say worst, like you're still getting a buff, but it's the lowest in the tier of how much you can get buffed. Like if you eat meat and you roll the red meat, you increase your damage, but only by 2%. Versus on the other side of the scale, which is the blue one, you're actually increasing your damage output by 10%. You get it? So that's the difference there. And then there's the aqua teal one, then there's like the green one, then there's the orange. Those are the 5 different colors. So there's also seconds that go with it, the red being the shortest. So it's a 2-second buff versus the blue, which is a 6-second buff. So just in case there's any confusion as to what the hell he does, it's quite a lot. Now, is it enough to pull? Like, is it enough that it changes his game? No.
Especially since some of them are seconds.
Yeah, like literally 2 seconds. Like we have yet to see any kind of combos that integrate food in it, or that you, because a character like this that normally needs to make a roll, you do one specific thing, which is very common to characters that are rolling to get some sort of buff or a chance to it, is you give up something. It could be you're giving up Oki, you're giving up maybe damage, even possibly positioning, depending on what you get back. Now, the return for that gamble that's where you weigh it, on whether or not it's worth the mechanic. Me looking at this, and as being a player that's played characters like that, like your Harley Quinns and Injustice, where it was completely fucking random, there are setups you give up, but you get a guaranteed buff, and that buff was significant enough that it could actually change the game for you. You could either get a lot of health back, you can get crazy damage, or you even can create an unblockable situation. But that depends on the setup. Sin, in this state, and how fast Guilty Gear is, and the fact that the hard knockdown thing is kind of tough. Like outside of, I don't know, if you get honestly, outside of like Super, I'm trying to think of like, is there a 2D setup? I haven't seen anything, but it's very early. The character's tech is going to grow from here. I don't see anything that's really going to be worth it outside of, if you're outside the range. Because the one thing you were doing that I thought was really, really annoying was getting the food, DPing afterwards, using it as bait to pull your opponent in and be like, oh, I'm eating, because he's in a vulnerable state when he eats. But then you can actually DP out of it, and then
you can also RC.
You can RC it as well. Mm-hmm. But whether or not that it's a mind game thing. Is the buff worth it? I say no. But it's there. It's enough that it gives you a little something. Maybe that extra 2% damage might be the kill. Who knows? We're gonna create those situations as this character grows, and we'll see, how much that actually equates to a change in the game plan. But at this state right now, from what I'm just looking at the sheer numbers, not really. Like even if you're trying to roll for the big stuff, it's a 1 in 15 chance, 1 in 15 that you get the blue. Versus it's a 5 in 15 or 1 out of 3 that you get the level 1, which is higher odds. But sure, if you get that blue buff, that's cool. But hopefully you got the blue buff of, say, 6 seconds of, I don't know, increased damage, or maybe like tension. Honestly, I think the tension is probably one of the more useless ones, because you have wall break. You'll get so much more tension from wall break and being positive. Like it's great. And him already having an insane corner, carry, and the ability to just have really good air to airs that can pull over to the wall and just get that positive, like he becomes a super character. It's really, really powerful. Lizard, like, sure, yeah, you can get a little bit of health back, that's fine, but is it, it's either 5, 10, 15, 20, or 25. This is the only one that isn't in percentage, so you only get a flat rate amount back. So it's like, okay, are you sacrificing damage? Are you sacrificing setup for 5 health? Is that 5 health really going to matter in the future? Probably not. But hey, they added it in there. It's there, exactly. It's there. So it's not, it's not really going to kill you unless you do something really stupid and do it at the wrong time. Then it will kill you. Yeah. Right. But regardless, I think it's cool. But just wanted to put some light on how the actual food mechanic works for you guys. So we talked about what you like, what you're feeling about them. Let's talk about, I'm going to give my little tidbit as to playing against him. So I did play as him for a bit with you. We've had some sets yesterday, just so I can get a feel for him. He feels kind of slow. He's beefy. Like, he puts out damage.
Yeah,
like Sin puts out damage. He has a terrible backdash. I think his backdash is garbaggio. It's so bad. But it's fine. The 2K to 2D, like, he's always gonna get caught. Like, if you catch a Sin trying to backdash and you 2K and then cancel it to 2D, that 2D is just gonna blow him up. But he hits hard. He's got some incredible normals. So fighting against that as Baiken, there were some things that were, I was really looking into. So, we played our sets, and then I went into Celestial to just see, how are the Sins playing out there? Like, how are people experimenting to try hard? How they're going to just do with it off the rip. It's week 1, and this is exactly what I expected to happen, to be honest, was I played a random Sin in Celestial, and any chance he got, he was buffering DP. And this is like week 1 Soul all over again. Oh, there's the gap? I'm a fucking DP the shit out of you. And it was happening over and over again. And the thing that got me most is because of that damn follow-up. I keep thinking it just whiffs. Like, if it whiffs, there's no follow-up. But if I blocked it, it's like I need to learn to counter it. Like, right there. Like, it's coming down. It's going to get countered or 6-speed right off the rip. But, man, motherfuckers love that DP. Standing 5S. Incredible. Close
5S, yes.
Close 5S was a 6 HS, like where he just swings across, just swings hard. I think it's 5S, where he just swings horizontally. Far 5S. Like, just standard 5S.
Same as Ram, same as Testament.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of control there. And then there's that other one where he kind of kicks down with the pole, like you were kind of is it crouch S? Yeah, that one was you were using it preemptively because I was 6Hing a lot, right? To kind of where Baiken is like her when she pulls, she kind of dashes under and slides, but with her sword, preemptively, that's a really good button. It really keeps him at that range of just like, you stay there, and like, he's controlling that space very well. But once you kind of get past those two, like, I was seeing, it was pretty simple for me to kind of keep my plan going. Like, as long as I had safe setups, like, Sin has no wake up game outside of DP, and DP is kind of tough because it's a great DP, but it's how do I say it? It's like, you said there's a mix up to it, but if you have an answer before they have the opportunity to put in the option, the follow up or not to follow up, then it's a blow up, like, every time. Like, if you block the first hit, like, I'm Baiken, I can just put the 2 frames out, put the 2 fingers out, and get ready to just counter and get my 15% for that, for your call out. Or you can still grab it, obviously. So the grab game now becomes, a really big part of the match, because that's his only way out outside of a super. Which also, hindsight, for any of my Viking players, his Ride of Lightning is a physical move. You can't just counter it.
Oh yeah.
The other move, though, isn't. To my knowledge, the other super is not a counterable move. It's, I think, considered projectile because he just splashes the ground. So you can't counter that one, but you can counter Ride of Lightning. So the character was very big on. He has a really good 6P. So approaching him from the air, you have to be wary about it. But he is very ground based. He has some great air to airs. Don't get me wrong. He has some really good air to airs. They don't point down as much, so it's kind of weird to try to make him approach with them. Like, characters, like I said, like your air S is like with Baiken or with Ram and such that have like incredible range and have a really good angle. Like, are gonna be tough to fight against.
Air S is fair, I would say. It's not Baiken levels of Air S, but it's fair.
Yeah, but I mean, what is?
Yeah. I mean, his body is with the button, unlike Baiken's, which she throws something out.
Yeah. So, fighting against him, it's like he definitely does control the space well. Once he gets rolling, it is difficult. Like, some of those meaties are gross. Like, that overhead, I have to check myself as to when I can counter it, because it isn't outright active, but it's coming. So you have to adjust to when it's active versus when it actually does come, when it actually, you see the animation. That's the thing that gets me. But once he starts going, once he starts steamrolling, yeah, it's tough. You gotta fight really hard to kind of, for you to get a breather, get the space back. Especially once you're in the corner. Once you're in the corner, he's at a certain range. Like his buttons are just hitting you. It's Ram all over again. It's Ram and like Nago all over again in certain buttons. Not in all situations. I'm not.
You saw my face.
No, not in all situations. I just noticed it. Not in all situations. I'm not saying he's like them, but I mean he has range control to a degree of them, which is what makes them also very powerful on top of all the other bullshit they have. But he's very straightforward, to be honest, though. He's very straightforward. Like he's not a very complex character.
Yeah, and I don't know how fast certain buttons are. Like what's his fastest? Like
his fastest is like a 5-frame. He has a 5-framer.
Okay.
He has a 5-framer.
Or stand jab. Stand jab's pretty good.
I took a peek at some of the frame data on him. Yeah, his fastest, to my knowledge, is a 5-frame, and it's his 2P. His standing 5P is 6, which actually works as a pretty good anti-air. That one, I've seen that one hit behind him. Like I got hit behind him, and he's able to turn around and convert from it. I've caught some
like Ramlethal.
A little bit. Like actually, if you take a peek at it right here, it looks a little deceiving because you're like, well, the hitbox actually isn't in front of the pole. It's actually all the way to his shoulder.
Yeah.
So that's the part that gets me. It's like, so if you think you cleared it, no, and you press a button and you're within this little area here, yeah, you're gonna get clipped. But yeah, that's his second to fastest. Like I said, that's his 6-framer. His 5-framer is just the 2P. Solid hitbox. It's not disjointed or anything like that. You know,
can combo into 6P, which can combo into another special move.
Yes, correct. But yeah, those some of those other buttons he has, 2S. I gotta see what this hitbox looks like. Do we have it here?
That's wild.
No, I don't see it. Wait, why do we not have it? Dust loop, no hitbox? Oh, thank you.
We have it for everything else, but not that.
It's actually disjointed. No, not disjointed. Excuse me. It's not disjointed. Sorry, it's not disjointed. But there's no hurt box on it, so you can't hit the tip of it like most moves. But that's why it feels like it's hitting further than it. Not than it looks, but like the fact that there is no hurt box around it makes it a really good move to throw out preemptively whenever you're trying to, not just 5S, but rather move on, or if a character's trying to 6H you or something like that. Yeah, in the start of the match, it probably isn't too bad of a move. But yeah, he's got some good buttons. Fighting against him is very annoying. He's not beefy. He literally has a 0.05 difference in defense from like Kai, and Kai is guts level 2. Defense multiplier is just a 1. So like shy of being just super normal. So he can't take hard hits. But he can definitely dish him out. Looking at the 6K, he's +3 on that, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, +3 on that. That kick is kind of gnarly. But yeah, the character is pretty good. He's solid. JD having a hard time figuring out where this is gonna go. Like this thing looks garbage. Like holy crap, what is this? Look at that. Damn near that hurt box is almost twice as further out than the actual hitbox itself. So. He's got some flaws, but yeah.
How do you activate the hitboxes on that website on Dust Loop?
Yeah, it literally says hitbox right above the actual move itself.
Don't mind me.
Yeah, don't mind you. Never been to Dust Loop before. Look at that. Oh my god, full invo. No hurtbox on that DP. Beautiful. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to catch all these
glue
things.
or glue stick. It's up to you.
Yeah, no, it's glue on the normal days. Is stick glue on those really saucy days on the weekends when you just want to spoil yourself. That's what these guys like. Nice. But the character, like I said, is a lot of fun. He's fun to play against, and I like the direction of having the tension, being more than just 50% tension. Like right now, he kind of has the most utility when it comes to the tension bar outside of RC. Right, his supers are affected in terms of damage. If you want to cash in on a full 100, you can. So things like wall break and having positive is even more of a benefit to a character like him. So it's pretty good. Like I said, I like the direction they're taking. Took him in the game in Strive. Yes, I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's dumbed down, he's different. Yes, I mean all characters are kind of they're changed up for Strive. That's the case. But I think Sin is in a solid spot. I think all the previous Sin players are going to be happy. I mean, hey, this is the second time you got to play the character in the game. He is a legacy character, but a legacy character of just only one other game. So the impact of him getting changed up, this is just, first timer for you guys. Don't worry. But overall fun. I think he's gonna be, like I said, he's gonna be fun to play against. I'm definitely gonna be rocking some more Celestial this month, so I can get more of a feel for this matchup. Good reversals, good damage, solid pokes. Defense is normal, but he looks like he can definitely play with some good characters. I want to say he's just right there in the middle. I think he could be mid tier right now.
Yeah.
I hate to say like a tier list off the rip, right? It's only been a couple days, but initial impressions, like where he's at, it could be mid. The more he gets, the tech is built, and the more he is solved, that's when we'll kind of come back full circle and see where he's really going to stand with the Nagos, the Leos, the Rams, the Happy Chaoses, which I can't even begin to think how he will do against Happy Chaos, to be honest. But he's got great meaties. His knockdowns are good, and Happy Chaos does suffer from having horrible wake ups. So, and I'm talking about with no resources. Like he just has overhead or a low. He's got a mix off the rip. So that's strong. So he might be the Happy Chaos tech, the anti-Happy Chaos tech.
That's exactly what I meant. Not that in general that it was against the Happy Chaos, but once I had more meter, like it was already my turn. I was like, okay, it's time for me to snowball. He doesn't have anything to wake up, so I'm just gonna do things when I'm negative and
Let me
do
just
things when I'm
turn off my brain real quick and let's go fucking in.
Then he rolled and shot behind him, and I died. So.
Oh. Yeah, that'll happen too. All right, so that's that. Guys, let us know what you think of Sin. Have you picked up Sin? Has this character, this Season 2 DLC character, been enough to bring you back into the fold to play some Strive again? I mean, Static Gorilla told me he's having fun with the game again just because he's playing Sin, because maybe it makes more sense to him because Eno doesn't. Sorry about that, bruh. But, I wonder if anyone else out there, any of you listeners, are also feeling the same way. Has Sin been enough to bring, or has he been just a straight Snorefest, not what you wanted? Bring me Slayer, then I'll be happy. Let us know. Tell us, tweet at us, comment.